sealed. Number 4 पे वैसे ही it's going to be Rahul, Shreyas and Kishan. 4 and 5
Correct.
में and एक तो खेलेगा ही राहुल किशन में से कीपर है क्योंकि
Correct.
Surya learned keeping in all this time. Then he can also come in. We have to
He still has a month to go. Uncomfortable situation between Shreyas, KL, and Kishan, right? All of them are playing every match with a sword hanging over their shoulder.
Rahul
So,
does not have a sword. Rahul has
yeah,
a
he doesn't have a sword. Yeah.
Rahul holds the sword. I think he doesn't have a sword on him.
Hello all and welcome to a new video on the Third Man Musings. Well, the much awaited World Cup squad for India is out. There were so many discussions happening, right? When will it get released? We are so close to the World Cup. Why are we still not fixed on our World Cup squad? So it finally got released this week and it was pretty much on anticipated lines, but there's still lots to discuss, right? The inclusions and the omissions as well. So we will discuss that. Obviously we'll discuss the detailed chances for India and much more details and perspectives in the final World Cup preview video which we'll do. But today is a good opportunity for us to discuss our initial thoughts on the squad that's come out. So Sumit, let's get underway then. Are you excited about the World Cup squad that's come out, and what were your initial thoughts when you saw the names in the squad?
So initial thoughts was again, as you said, on expected lines because the thought process was very simple, right? Asia Cup squad will be announced, two people will be cut out, and I knew those two people would be Tilak Verma and Prasidh Krishna, which happened. So they were just carried, and for the experience or something, maybe. So that 15 was very expected, and I think the omissions in the Asia Cup squad itself are the debatable ones, which then transcend into the World Cup squad, which we'll go over. So we'll go over each section one by one, and then we discuss an ideal playing 11 or what combinations are possible for this team because they have left very little room for themselves with this playing
Hmm.
11 from this squad of 15. We'll start with the batters, and I think that is the most established portion of the squad where I think there's the least debate because your top three is fixed with Gill, Rohit, and Kohli. The eternal number four is where I think the questions will again come, and there are so many options there which we'll discuss right at the end because there's so many suitors for that one role. It's pretty funny how we're back to square one. So barring the top three, which I don't think we really need to discuss because they are like solidified, and barring injury, they'll play all matches. I don't think form will be considered for these three unless something really dramatic happens with Gale because he looked like a lost child against Pakistan in the first match. So uh, that's the only one I would think they might think, but he'll get a good run of 5 matches at least in the World Cup before they start even thinking of dropping him and getting someone else in. So the other two, I think, are the ones where most questions were Shreyas Iyer and Surya. So you think? I think the Shreyas was pretty much a nailed on selection for me because of his ODI record. For Surya, do you think it was? Do you agree with the selection? Because that's somewhere I'm 50-50. Honestly, I have my pros, I have my cons. Where are you on that selection?
Yeah, that's a catch 22 situation, right? Because if you take his T20 pyrotechnics into the situation, he's a must have, right? Because India, if you see, is playing a very safe sort of team, right? We don't have as much explosive batting as Australia or England. So I can understand why they picked him, because they want one X factor batsman who can change the game in our favor with his 360-degree game. But then we have seen that Surya struggled in the ODI format, right? We all remember his ducks against Australia in the home series, and he himself has been very candid in admitting that this is one format that he's found a little bit tough to adapt to from the T20 game. But I think they've taken the right call, because let's say in the business end of the tournament, if India is struggling to chase scores or set up big scores while batting first, then at least you kept that option of bringing in this guy who can challenge the opposition bowling, right? So India have taken that punt. Hopefully he utilizes that opportunity.
Same. I mean, yeah, it is. It's a selection based on potential than performance. I think that's how I will term it as. And the funny part is, how do you fit this guy? Because you have taken him for his X factor. Now, when we discuss the 11, we'll figure there's no space for him. So you have to create space for him to get the X factor in. So that's not how X factors work ideally. You play them like up front and up top, but we will see when we discuss the ideal 11. Next section to be discussed, which I think is the debatable section in the country, barring the bowlers. Yeah, there are two debatable topics I think this squad. first we'll discuss the keepers, the wonderful keeper. So many keepers India has suddenly, right, after Dhoni. So everybody's so excited, everybody can bat, everybody can keep.
Yeah.
So the final two keepers as expected was Rahul and Kishan. So first thoughts would be, why did Samson miss out, and do you agree with Samson missing out? Let me ask you that first.
I think unfortunately because the squad size has to be 15, I think we had to make some tough decisions, right? Now Samson again, I think in the West Indies series he got chances. Let's give
Hmm.
credit to the management and selectors. They played him in all games, right? T20s, ODIs. He made one impactful innings, which was of 15, the last ODI, I think. But
Hmm.
other than that, he couldn't utilize his chances, and that we have seen with Samson, right? In the IPL also, two three glittering innings and again then a few inconsistent innings. So it's sad, but I think because we have to limit the score to 15, we got slightly stuck there. And because let's be honest, I know Rahul has struggled in tests and T20s, but ODIs his average has been 60 in the last 2 years, right? So with those stats, it was tough to drop him. Plus Kishan now is in the form of his life. 350s against West Indies consecutively, and 150 against Pakistan also when India were 66 for 4. So I think
Hmm.
given this background, it was tough for Samson to fit in. But your thoughts on that as well?
Same. I mean, I said this in the previous video also. You want a number five keeper, and you played Kishan in opening all the in entire West Indies store. And now suddenly, when you need a number five keeper, you have a ready-made number five keeper, but you don't play him. You keep him as a reserves in Asia Cup, and now you've sent him back apparently because Rahul is running around in the field and batting and keeping now. So he's gone also. So it's very clear he does not have that backing of the management. So it was expected again. And Kishan, to his credit, performed at number five against Pakistan of all teams. So he will get a run now. Now
Correct.
it'll
A
be fun.
question for you: with that innings against Pakistan, do you think Kishan has leapfrogged Rahul in the pecking order in for playing in the playing level?
So based on performance, yes, because Rahul hasn't played since 6 months since that last IPL time, right? So he should not be playing. But the way the management has pushed Rahul's case, like keeping him in the squad when he's not fit, they knew he won't play half the Asia Cup. They're still carrying him. He came later from Bangalore कि ठीक है मैं बाद में सीधा सुपर फोर में खेलने आऊंगा सीधा. And it's it's like laid up, the red carpet is laid up for him कि you just go and play and we'll play you. So much love for Rahul makes me think that he's playing, and I think the fall guy in all this love affairs of keepers and batsmen will be Shreyas Iyer.
Yes, Iyer, who's actually not the keeper.
So
Right?
he, I feel bad for him because he has so much pressure. And yeah, one more Pakistan match and potentially a final. So in that second, and he looked $1 million, Shreyas, when he played
Hmm.
against Pakistan in that short innings, right? And
Correct.
the short ball also hit very well, just a few inches here there, it was a boundary. So I have a bad feeling that one more failure against Pakistan, and you suddenly get Rahul and Kishan in the same 11 versus Sri Lanka and Bangladesh in the future.
Bangladesh.
So um, I think Rahul will obviously so much backing he's going to play. Now the question is, how do you drop somebody like Kishan who's had 450s in his last four innings and who's even given you his innings at number five against Pakistan? So it'll be very wrong now, I think,
Hmm.
to drop him. It'll just
Correct.
shatter his confidence. So I have a bad feeling it's going to be Iyer, the scapegoat, and we get a new number four again right at the end before a World Cup with Rahul coming there. So yeah, keeper wise, I think the keeper is going to create problems for number four. Have a bad thing, and in all this, you need to put Surya also in the mix, which we will discuss. How do you get
Correct.
Surya in this thing? So next one is the all rounders, where we keep craving all rounders in this country. We don't have all rounders and people who perform. Me and you discuss Hardik Pandya a lot in unflattering terms, but the
Yeah,
guy.
he proved us wrong in that Pakistan game. Yeah.
So I think he's bought himself 5 6 matches. Let's hope he plays with the same attitude and defense. Still iffy about his bowling. When he has this bandana and tries this old bowling, I think one day he's going to get really like murdered by somebody from Australia, England. How good a bowler he is. But he's a nailed on selection. I mean, there's nobody in the country who has his skill set, so he is going to play for sure. Jadeja is one of those people. I know he has performed. I mean, his test batting is something which has actually catapulted him into this top tier of all rounders. But in ODIs, his numbers are not very great. they're still lacking. And in the bowling, if the pitch is responsive, he's great. But if it's not responsive, he'll get murdered again. I think
Correct.
those two are nailed on selections in terms of all rounders. We knew this will happen. The one I'll discuss is Akshar Patel. Do you find that like a logical selection, or I don't agree with the person? What about
Again,
you?
if you see just cricketing logic, it doesn't make sense to have two people with the exact same skill set in the squad, right? Now, Jadeja, Aksar, same thing. Left hand batters, left arm finger spinners again, right? And both have a similar fast trajectory where they try to dart the ball in into the batsman, right? So, I actually don't agree, but I think again, here is where the team management is playing safe, right? They again want to,
Mm,
if there are matches where India's lower order is not contributing, they want to bring in Aksar at 8, especially when there's some turn, and they want
mm,
extra batting as well. Right, so they're going in with Aksar. Otherwise, it was pretty clear. It should have either been a right arm off spinner or a right arm leggy. Right.
like spinner.
Again, it's about playing safe and bringing in Aksar. I'm not totally convinced, but to give credit to the guy, whenever he's got opportunities, he's really improved with the bat,
Yeah.
and in the ball also he's pretty decent. Right. So nothing against the guy, but I think India could have maybe omitted him from the squad to get in better flexibility, probably.
Yes. And if he was in that reserve of three, I would have totally been okay with that, because then he's a backup to your Jadeja option. In case Jadeja gets injured, you have a
Correct.
like for like replacement and you get him in. Perfect. He's a perfect number seven foil to Jadeja. The issue is, yeah, you keeping. I can imagine playing Akshar and Jadeja in the same team, and if the opposition has left-handers, they are
Hmm.
done, because with all these matchups, who's going to bowl then? So
Correct.
that's where I found the selection not very like smart. That you are not going to play both of them together in most cases, unless it's like a line mine of a pitch, which won't happen. It's a World Cup ODI,
In a
right? It's
World
not
Cup, you
test
don't
match.
get landmine pitches. Yeah.
Exactly. The next all-rounder is Shardul, who is now apparently the third best fast bowler in the country, and nothing against this guy also. Now, one of,
Hmm.
as you discussed in the last video, top wicket taker for India since 2020, 2021 in ODIs. So, performance-wise, there's no debate here. But again, he's being played because he bats at 8 and gives you the flexibility. And that's where I think the issue starts. If he was your best bowler, third best bowler who bats, then it makes it different. But now he's playing because he bats a little, and bowling wise, we know he's a very hard trier. He'll give his effort, and he'll get you the wickets. But the scary aspect, that you associate with fast bowlers, it's not with him. He
Hmm.
normally gets wickets when people are trying to hit him rather than
Correct.
defend.
Correct.
So one of those things where Shardul and Akshar, as rightly you mentioned, are going to be the number eights. They will float it around based on the type of pitch. So I'm not very sure about this. And then come your fast bowlers, the bowlers, and that's where I think the numbers are so less, right? We have Bumrah, Shami, Siraj, and then you have Kuldeep. We have like four frontline bowlers, and that's it. The squad is over. Bumrah has fitness concerns, we all know. Siraj, luckily, has been playing so well. Let's hope he doesn't get injured. And Shami is old at the end. Poor guy's been playing since ages, right? And now he's again back from retirement to play one last World Cup. Kuldeep was a nailed on selection. The way management has been using him finally since the last year
Correct.
shows he's a preference over Chahal. So I'll ask. So again, not much to discuss in terms of the bowlers, because these were the three best fast bowlers in the country. My question to you would be, going to the number eight, like who are the top four bowlers in the country? It's one of those things, right? Who do you go with as your four bowlers?
If it were up to me, I would go with Bumrah, Shami, Siraj, and Kuldeep, because I believe your best bowlers have to play, right? Now, when your
Hmm.
best bowlers play, your chances of chasing 275 is much more than your chances of chasing 325, right? Because when your best bowlers play, they will
Yes,
restrict the
obviously.
opposition or get them all out, right? But when you're
Hmm.
playing with one bowler who might go for 80 runs in 10 overs just because you want that person's batting, you're more likely to chase 320 or 325, right? So I believe play your best bowlers. And see, again, number 8 in ODIs, considering the safe batting that India has, Rohit and Virat
Hmm.
will play most of the overs if they get in, like similar with
Hmm.
Gill. And
Gale.
even your number 4 to 7 all play safe cricket, right? So the probability of them batting 40 45 overs on a given day is a lot. So then what
Hmm.
will you do with this extra 10 20 runs of the number 8, right? So I
Correct.
really feel India needs to play their top three pacers, which is Shami, Siraj, and Bumrah, and then use Kuldeep. and then
Kuldeep.
get 10 overs out of, Pandya or
All
any
the
other middle order batsman who can,
rule is on.
and Jadeja.
Mm.
Jadeja is there as well. So Jadeja,
Mm.
Pandya, and maybe anybody else if needed, maybe for a couple of overs.
I think what you said was highlighted in the match against Pakistan at 66 for 4. I remember texting you and saying, "See, Shardul ab kaam aayega" or something. And then we were lucky that Kishan and Pandya played the innings of their life. They got all the
Right.
way. And then we were at a stage where could have touched 300, 320. Suddenly, Kishan goes because poor guy
Yeah.
was cramping. He had
Yeah.
to just hit
Yeah.
out, and he went. And Jadeja then didn't take full use of his opportunity. Pandya got out very casually. That was not a great ball, but I think just expected a faster ball and just came and stopped and everything.
Hmm.
Then comes Shardul, and now this insurance that we've been talking about. This insurance should have given you 20 runs. I think he gave single
It was
digit
a
score
perfect
again
opportunity for him, actually. Yeah.
to showcase that okay, why a number eight batter is needed because he would have given you 20, 30 extra runs. It did not happen. We landed at 266, and the only irony is in all this, Bumrah came out as the best batsman amongst the bottom four. The way he
Yeah.
played, the attitude, and the technique was so good. I'm like, इससे अच्छा इसी को नंबर 8 बना दो ना इतनी इशू है लाइफ में कि बैट and Kuldeep,
Hmm.
he looks terrible, but I think he can hold a bat. मतलब he'll just keep defending,
Correct.
defending. It depend on कर देगा वो. I think the way he plays. So you have two people who will give you something.
Correct.
If you're
Plus,
expecting
Shami
them to
will
score,
slog also, right? You never know. A couple of
ah,
sixes might connect also from Shami. So,
correct.
yeah.
So if the expectation is to have reliability at the end, कि there's some bowler to support a batsman, we
Hmm.
have that. But if the expectation is कि ये जिताएगा यहाँ से, like last over heroics, मतलब 20 of last 2 overs or something, that's wrong because then anyways your batting has collapsed to reach that point. So you need to see whose role is what. And this is something this whole I don't know what's the word for it. This bias against bowlers कि bowler को बैटिंग नहीं आती है तो बॉलर लेंगे जो उसको बैटिंग आती है लेकिन बैट्समैन को अगर बॉलिंग नहीं आती है तो उसको खिलाएंगे डजंट मैटर व्हाई डज ही नीड टू बॉल इज बैट
Correct.
इट्स लाइक टू प्रेफरेंशियल ट्रीटमेंट गिवन टू बैट्समैन सो दे नीड टू गिव इक्वल अपॉर्चुनिटी टू बोथ एंड
Correct.
I don't think they should play the top three bowlers, as you said. And Shardul, as an insurance, somebody gets injured, and that's what happens in the squad, right? One of your three fast bowlers breaks down. You do not have a fourth pacer. That's what's gone wrong with the squad selection. When I seen as pure bowlers, you've
Hmm.
taken too many all-rounders for no reason, and they are not even proper. Or who's an all-rounder? An all-rounder is somebody who plays for a single set, a single skill set, either for batting or bowling. They're good enough. I don't think Akshar or Shardul are that good enough कि एक single set के लिए they can play, right?
No, it's a
So
hybrid of both their sets. And again, this comes back to the high this thing, the impact player rule in IPL, right? That is
it's
just
so
not
good.
helping. Again, it's bringing the specialist culture here, right? If you
हाँ.
when you know India's traditionally had a problem of all rounders, why are you bringing that impact rule, which will again make it all specialist friendly, right? So again,
They have to. I
we have to
think this
live
new
with
generation.
certain things.
It's life, but but it's like you keep repeating the same pattern again and again, and
Yeah,
then we expect why are we not winning trophies?
correct,
Because ultimately, and one more point here, right? Australia and England are playing currently. England versus New Zealand, Australia against South Africa. They're hitting 390, 350 for fun. They don't have any insurance. They're playing the best bowler still. Nobody is playing with that. Australia will always play. They are playing a B team right now. Even that is scoring 353. They scored 390 yesterday, I remember. So, Stark, Cummins, Hazelwood, plus Zampa. Naseem Afridi, Rauf, plus one. Then they play around with the all-rounder spinner bowler, right?
correct,
So
correct,
they have their all-round flexibility. So they happen. They are blessed that these fast bowlers bat also for these countries. We are not blessed like that, so it's okay. But their logic is simple. They're playing them because they are the best bowlers. They're not playing them because these can bat a bit. So I think that's one mindset. And by having this insurance rate, you're not also scoring 350, 400. You're at the end just scoring those
correct.
middling scores, right? Unless Kohli has a magical run or Rohit gives you that innings, you're not scoring 350, 380 in this format. They're a very safe team by nature. So if you're going to play safe, then might as well play your aggressive bowlers and try to
Hmm.
do your best. So
Correct.
it's catch 22. I think
Hmm.
we'll start with this safety approach, and when we get burned in the initial World Cup stages, I think then they'll understand how to go about. Like India normally does, right? They
Correct.
find the common ground
Correct.
later. So
Correct.
uh, very low. And then in all this, let's go with the one player who can make you reach 350, 400. Now, where do you fit him? I'm very curious because top three is sealed. Number four, pe वैसे ही it's going to be Rahul Shreyas. एंड किशन 4 and 5
Correct.
में एंड एक तो खेलेगा ही राहुल किशन में से, कीपर है क्योंकि
Correct.
सूर्या लर्न कीपिंग इन ऑल दिस टाइम, देन ही कैन आल्सो कम कि मैं कर लूं.
He still has a month to go if he wants to.
दैट्स अपस्किलिंग लाइक वी डू फॉर द जॉब, राइट? कि हाँ ये स्किल
Yeah.
सेट ले लेते हैं प्रमोशन के लिए. तो आई डोंट थिंक इज गोना मैनेज इट. लाइक समबडी हैज टू टेल हिम दैट कि या तो तू बॉलिंग सीख ले या कीपिंग सीख ले, मे बी देन यू हैव अ शॉट एट दिस. तो 4-5 लॉक्ड है. एंड 4-5 में ये मतलब 3 ऑप्शन है, एंड देन यू हैव 6-7 पांड्या
True.
एंड जड्डू फिक्स्ड अगेन. एंड 8 से तुम्हारा फिर वही अक्षर, शार्दुल, व्हाटएवर यू वांट टू प्ले. तो वेयर डू यू प्ले सूर्या? डू यू हैव एनी सॉल्यूशन टू दैट?
Now, if you're again, it depends on the results in those first three matches, right?
3
If
मैचेस, हाँ.
India, God forbid, loses against both Australia and Pakistan, and we end up, let's say, winning only against Afghanistan, one out of
Hmm.
three matches, then India has to win five out of the next six matches, right, to qualify for semi. So that will call for
Hmm.
desperate measures. At that point, the option to bring in Surya then would be you drop whoever is playing between Aksar and Shardul at 8, right? Go in only with two paces, play Kuldeep, and then you maybe, let's say, four Shreyas, five, one between Rahul and Kishan, six Surya, because now they have made him the designated six, right?
Finisher.
Because they
Hmm.
feel he can't play at 4 or 5. Make him
Mm-hmm.
six, Pandya 7, Jadeja 8, two Pacers, and Kuldeep. That is one way of fitting Surya in, but that will probably depend on the result in the first three matches. That
That
is
will,
one way of fitting him in if you're that desperate.
yeah, yeah. Because that will mean that you always have to play for 400. I mean, you have to chase, मतलब 350, 400 बनाने. And I think that template is only going to work if you win all the tosses, you're chasing every time. And I think then that template is very good. You have 8 proper batsmen
Correct.
who I think can chase down anything. कुछ थोड़ा ड्यू का भी element आएगा. Damn risky if you lose the toss. I have to bat first. Then you don't know how much to set against good bowling like
Get to
Australia,
Australia
Pakistan.
and England, yeah, Pakistan also, yeah.
हाँ, तो you would see England का फर्क है उस चीज में. England don't have
Hmm.
such deadly bowlers, but they know
Hmm.
their process, right? They will bat till 11. सब बैटिंग करते हैं और
Hmm.
थोड़ा bowling करके they have 6-7 bowling
Correct.
options. तो
Correct.
मिल बाट के they will figure it out and they won't get hit like for a lot of runs. And even if they do, people know they will chase it down. They have so much
Correct.
firepower till
Imagine
11.
Harry Brook is not in their 15, right? So you can
Yeah.
imagine the strength of that squad.
So that's where I think like Harry Brook and Marnus Labuschagne, these two are really now fighting it out, and they're scoring so well against New Zealand and South Africa, respectively. I can foresee somebody getting injured somewhere in the nets or something, and they're coming in the squad because,
Uh,
yeah, I mean,
Malan needs to take care of himself, I think.
yeah,
David Malan.
definitely. Somebody
Yeah.
might be going after him. He's at risk. अरे लास्ट मैच में आई थिंक yesterday only the second ODI they
Hmm.
हैरी ब्रूक को मलान को ओपनिंग करा दिया लाइक तुम दोनों
Hmm.
देख लो
Face
सॉर्ट
off.
इट आउट.
Yeah.
तो मलान won that sadly, so
Yeah.
let's see. And हैरी का वही है, his IPL didn't help. I think if he had a good IPL
Correct.
he would have
Correct.
got the preference. अभी उसका होगा. I have a
Hmm.
feeling he'll come in somewhere down the line. कुछ करेंगे वो लोग to
Hmm.
manage it. So yeah, I like that idea because yeah, that's an
Hmm.
idea of desperation only, as you said. Ki we'll just live and die by that squad, and that's only because you did not create a balanced squad. In all this, one last element to discuss is
Hmm.
the bowler you said, right? In terms of
Correct.
the other spinner. So you have got all three left armers for your slow bowling option.
Hmm.
Kuldeep, okay, I'll give him the benefit because he's a Chinaman, so he can give you those googlies and leg spinners. He can go both
Correct.
ways, so he can manage both lefties and righties. But by playing Jaddu and Akshar together, for a team which has a lot of left-handers, you cannot play them firstly. It's always going to be Shardul or some other
Hmm.
player. You haven't got that flexibility. Maybe Ashwin took his name back because he would have been a perfect option in the squad for a team which has like 4 or 5 left-handers. Playing Ashwin makes sense in any format, I feel, because he will give you
Hmm.
that surety against the lefties. Or if a team has too many right-handers, then you have Chahal as an option. So I think that's where they missed the trick because if the argument is number 8 पे batting चाहिए, then ठीक है, Chahal will go as usual. I don't know. Don't know why. That guy needs to
Yeah.
attend to options for batting. He like मुझे batting सिखा दो. एक I hope to God he plays one tournament in his life, one world. Has he played any ICC tournament? Like squad
He played the 2019 World Cup.
World
2019
Cup.
World Cup.
हाँ
हाँ.
हाँ हाँ. जब अरे उसी में तो कुलचा की बैंड बजाई थी, राइट? नहीं, उसी में नहीं.
Uh,
इंग्लैंड ने
2019.
करा था ना.
हाँ,
I think
they hit both of them.
हाँ
Yeah. Yeah.
हाँ, that's I remember that. तो हाँ, that's the
Correct.
last time we played, I think. हाँ, तब से ही
Correct.
चल रहा
After
है.
that,
कुलचा
yeah.
broke. हाँ, तो he needs to. really learn some batting क्योंकि bowling अच्छी है बेचारे की, and he keeps missing out because of the single set cricketer he is.
Correct.
And Ashwin was your double. He was two scale. He's as good a number eight you'll ever get in any format. क्योंकि वो रुक भी जाएगा मार भी देगा. So somewhere I was selection is a bit muddled, and
Hmm.
it's too dependent on people being in form. Like we discussed this in the beginning, right? Our top order isn't in form. It doesn't look in form ever. I don't know. And the Pakistan match just made me scared, I guess. कि इनको ball दिख ही नहीं रहा है, खेल ही नहीं पा रहे हैं. And you're like, that could have gone so wrong. I think you need to give
Correct.
credit to Babar Azam for his captaincy. That's how he escaped that match. अगर
Yeah.
if he would have captain, we were dying that day. But इसने बोला छोड़ो वो बहुत हो गई bowling. Spinners को करवाते हैं 20
Correct.
ओवर.
Same thing happened in the T20 World Cup match also. No, once India,
मेलबर्न वाला.
yeah, got through the Pacers, then again they
Hmm.
feasted on Nawaz and Shadab. Yeah.
Correct. I think Babar Azam has some tie up with Pandya. I think Pandya जब भी आता है like छोड़ो स्पिनर ले आता हूँ. पता नहीं क्या है तो
Yeah.
that's the commonality I see in both those things. So
Hmm.
yeah, I don't think we'll get the chance against Australia or England or New Zealand. अगर we are
Hmm.
66 or 4, they'll
Hmm.
hammer us. वहां से कमबैक करना बहुत मुश्किल होगा.
Correct.
तो very, but the only good thing is India will have a good stretch now of
Hmm.
3 matches in a week. So that will test out the fitness of 50 overs. And उसके बाद Australia के 3 ODIs हैं. So we have
Correct.
potentially
Those are also
six
pretty packed
matches.
together. Yeah.
So 6 matches, and if you reach the final somehow, seven
Seven.
matches.
Hmm.
The good thing about the Asia Cup, I think, is 3 teams are only in contention now. Bangladesh to chala gaya,
Hmm.
unless 2 matches lose करके. So you have Pakistan, Sri Lanka, and India. Two of them will make it.
Correct.
So high chances of being a final, being in a final, and then let's see if we can handle the nerves all over again. So we'll go over
Correct.
that match. It happens.
Correct.
So take care. I think
Yeah. So, Sumit,
we'll go
before
over.
we
We'll have.
end, I want to put you on the spot. Are you very confident of an India qualification in the semis right now? Because Australia, England are sure favorites. And if you look
Yeah,
objectively, I think November 19th on Ahmedabad, at Ahmedabad, it's England and Australia, which is probably squaring off, right? If
correct.
you look at it objectively. Pakistan may be a third spot, right? Maybe because their
The
bowling is
bowling.
looking really good.
And those pitches might suit them, right? Subcontinent.
Correct, correct.
Yeah.
Then there are two other teams, right? South
New
Africa,
Zealand,
I mean, on paper looks good. On
very
paper,
good team.
somehow
Yeah.
their results are not coming through. They're struggling against Australia, but
Mm,
their team looks good. New Zealand always outperforms
always.
other teams
And
in ICC tournaments, and
and
Williamson is back,
Kane is back.
right?
Yeah, that's the main point.
So,
Yeah. Yeah.
so there are five contenders, and if you add India, it will be six. Are you very
But
confident of a semi-final
no,
spot?
I'm not very confident. I'm just hoping the scheduling we've done in terms of playing the weak teams right at the end. तो अगर net run rate पे बात है तो मार मार के and then Surya will come. Trust me. If they have to raise the net run rate, तो Surya को आएंगे लाएंगे squad में कि भाई तू मार 12 पे मार. And it's a perfect player to play between the 10 and 40 over period, right? Four fielders outside. This guy plays all over the park. So it's so difficult to set a field for him if he gets in. So they have to utilize him better also. I don't understand if they want to play him as a finisher, then he's coming in the last 10 overs with five fielders outside. He is one player who will give you maximum results with four fielders outside. So
Hmm.
not very confident in terms of how the squad is looking, how we are playing, because whatever evidence you've seen till now, they don't look very settled compared to, especially when I'm seeing Australia, South Africa, New Zealand, England matches. They are so close. They're chasing 345 overs. Heck, Afghanistan tried to chase 219, 37 overs.
Against Sri
So
Lanka, yeah.
yeah, so all those things make you wonder that we. I think the pressure is a problem. I think skill wise we are right up
Hmm.
there with any team, right? I think the
Hmm.
pressure gets to people कि लोग क्या कहेंगे वही same issue, Indian society issue I guess. लोग क्या
Correct.
कहेंगे. I think they need to let go of that. I mean, anyways, if they lose, they'll get bashed, right? They
Hmm.
need to adopt that approach of fearless cricket, and if it fails, it fails. But losing
Correct.
like this, ultimately, is going to be worse. I think
Correct.
we need.
Plus, this
Uh,
uncomfortable situation between Shreyas, KL, and Kishan, right? All of them are playing every match with a sword tanging over their
yeah.
shoulder. So,
Rahul does not have a sword. Rahul has
yeah,
a
he doesn't have a sword. Yeah.
Rahul holds the sword. I think he doesn't have a sword on him.
Yeah,
Rahul is
Shreyas and
back.
Kishan at least. Yeah.
Yes, Kishan. Both are.
Plus,
Kishan.
now Shami also. Shami also is looking like the probable drop guy between
Yeah,
BUMRAH,
yeah,
Siraj, and
definitely.
Shami.
But
So,
I'm confident Shami will play because Bumrah won't play 9 matches in the league, right?
hmm,
So
hmm,
that means I'm confident that Shami को chance to मिलेगा. And if he really performs well, then we might go to that combination of having a best four bowlers play. So there is
correct.
hope in that sense for Shami at least. But this 4-5 में जो होने वाला है is something I fear in terms of कौन खेलेगा क्योंकि think about it. The surgery Rahul had, he has to keep for 50 overs over such a period. I think it should be difficult.
Hmm.
I'm sure he'll get a go in Asia Cup. I hope it does, and they don't
Hmm.
directly launch him against Australia ODIs. Because, for example, if he fails in all three matches,
Hmm.
what will you do? You can't drop him from the squad. Then it'll look
It's a
hilarious, right?
very, very dicey situation.
तो
Hmm.
वही वेरी इफी टॉप
Yeah.
फोर फॉर मी ऑल्सो मतलब वही है कि इंडिया में है आईसीसी का रेवेन्यू है स्कोर और एंड में मैचेस भी ऐसे सेट करे हुए हैं कि
Correct.
इंडिया 100
Correct.
उसमें पहुंच जाएंगे मर पिट के जैसे भी बट थिंक अबाउट इट वी जस्ट नीड
Hmm.
टू रीच द सेकंड एनीवेज दैट्स व्हाई द प्रॉब्लम स्टार्ट राइट दोस लास्ट टू मैचेस
Yeah.
तो आई एम थिंकिंग कि किस तरह पहुंच जाओ इफ दे डोंट रीच आई विल बी लाइक ठीक है बुरा लगेगा बट एटलीस्ट नॉकआउट में नहीं हारेंगे it takes that pain
Still, yeah. Very interesting, and that's what happens when a World Cup comes around, right? We have around a month to go, under a month now. So lots of
mm.
ifs and buts, but in World Cups, you never know, right? Now
Yeah,
we are
yeah,
seeing in the matches 350, 400 is common, but in World Cups,
quite
you
common.
never know. Even 300 might be hard to chase, right? Given the
Mm.
pressure. So let's see. The dew will play a major impact, though. So, any
Definitely.
closing thoughts before we wrap
Yeah.
up the video? But I think to summarize, both of us would agree we need to play fearless cricket, right? It's
Mm.
no point playing safe cricket when your opposition is England and Australia, right? Unless India plays that dynamic cricket, where we say okay, we'll take risks to win. It's okay, we
Mm.
might lose a game or two here, but we need to take those risks to win, right? I think that is
Yeah,
our message from this entire video.
definitely. And don't use words like template anymore. Very that word really scares me. This new template they keep bringing out, and then they forget it in midway of the tournament. So my prayers with them. I'll be honest. And Asia Cup. I mean, this coming week with the three matches, starting with the Pakistan match, will be pretty. Like, that'll be the real test of their fitness and where they are because they
Hmm.
haven't played really. I mean, we thought of previewing the Asia Cup, I think, and we thought, कुछ हुआ ही नहीं है India का. What do we discuss? Because there's that half match against Pakistan and there's a Nepal match which I shouldn't consider
Correct.
honestly.
Correct.
So yeah, nothing to really go by. So yeah, I think next video will have much more
Yeah.
analysis in terms of where we are as a team.
Correct. So on
Correct.
that note, folks, hope you liked our discussion. Again, lot of points when it comes to the squad, right? Who got in, who got out. Always there are talking points, but we really hope India does well in the next three matches against Pakistan, Sri Lanka, and Bangladesh, and hopefully we get a spot in the final so that we get a good look as to how we are prepared for the World Cup, right? Considering it's a World Cup at home. So on that note, folks, please do like, share, comment, and subscribe. Your love means a lot to us. Let us know your thoughts and look forward to our next video when we reach the business end of the tournament nearing the finals for the Asia Cup. Till then, take care and bye bye, and please do send in your love. Take care.
Thank you.